Have you ever stepped inside an Amish home during the blazing heat of summer and felt surprisingly cool air? Without a single air conditioner in sight, it almost feels like magic. But it's not. It's generations of wisdom, trial and error, and pure ingenuity. In today's world, where energy bills soar and AC units hum all day, the Amish quietly live in cool, comfortable homes using methods most of us have forgotten or never learned. They rely on the land, the wind, and the natural movement of air, not on switches or remote controls. Step inside, and you'll notice thick walls, shaded windows, the strategic placement of trees outside, and a rhythm of life that adapts to the season instead of fighting against it. It's a blend of architecture, tradition, and sustainable thinking that's been refined over hundreds of years. While the rest of us chase modern comforts, they've quietly mastered staying cool the old-fashioned way without racking up a single cent in electricity. Before we dive into these brilliant hacks, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a video packed with off-grid wisdom, survival tips, and smart living ideas. Let's uncover how the Amish stay cool in 90, even 100-degree heat without touching a thermostat. Homes built for nature's rhythm. The secret starts long before summer hits. It's built into the very bones of Amish homes. Unlike modern buildings that rely heavily on artificial cooling systems, Amish homes are carefully designed with natural ventilation, thermal mass, and passive cooling in mind. Roofs often have steep pitches that allow hot air to rise and escape through vents or open rafters. High ceilings do the same inside, encouraging warm air to move upward and away from living spaces. Windows are strategically placed across from each other to allow for cross breezes. Air enters from one side, flows through the house, and exits out the other. This continuous airflow forms a natural cooling system that refreshes the home throughout the day, especially in early morning and evening. Thick, solid walls made from wood, brick, or stone help insulate the interior. These materials absorb cool air during the night and gradually release it during the heat of the day, maintaining a stable and comfortable indoor temperature. Some homes even include double-layered walls or extra-deep eaves to provide greater insulation. Porches are another essential feature, not just aesthetic or social spaces, but passive shading systems. They shield windows and doors from direct sunlight, reducing heat gain. Some porches are even wrapped around the home, acting like a cooling buffer zone. Orientation matters too. Homes are often built with the longest walls facing north and south, minimizing harsh sun exposure on the east and west sides where heat is strongest. Even the placement of trees is intentional. Tall deciduous trees are planted on the south and west sides for summer shade and winter light, creating year-round energy efficiency. They're not just building homes, they're building climate solutions, rooted in harmony with nature and time-tested practicality. Their structures prove that intelligent design can provide comfort without consuming energy. Ventilation towers and cupolas. One of the most genius yet subtle features on many Amish barns, and increasingly on their homes, is the cupola, a small tower-like structure perched on the roof. To the casual observer, it might seem purely decorative, but in reality, it's a highly functional piece of passive ventilation engineering. These cupolas act much like chimneys for warm air. Since heat naturally rises, cupolas provide an exit point for it to escape, facilitating air movement inside the structure. This process, known as thermal siphoning, allows hot air to be expelled without a single electrical component. As warm air exits through the top, it creates a vacuum effect, drawing in cooler air from lower openings like windows or floor-level vents. In the hotter months, cupolas are kept open and unobstructed. Their positioning at the highest point of the roof ensures maximum efficiency. In well-designed buildings, this system is complemented by ground-level vents that help channel the air upward, enhancing the natural convection cycle. Some Amish homes and barns even feature cupolas with adjustable louvers or wind-directional vents, which help guide prevailing breezes into the structure, accelerating airflow. This is particularly helpful on humid days when stagnant air can feel even hotter than it is. In this way, cupolas not only release heat, but also increase ventilation, making the space feel more breathable and comfortable. In barns, where animals are housed, this passive ventilation is essential. It helps control odor, moisture, and excess warmth, promoting healthier conditions for livestock. The durability and simplicity of the design make it incredibly low maintenance and long lasting, an ideal fit for the Amish lifestyle. Thick curtains and strategic window use. While modern homes seal everything shut and blast AC, the Amish use their windows as natural climate tools. But they don't just open and close them randomly, they do it based on the sun's position, time of day, and outside temperatures. In the morning and evening, when it's cooler outside, windows are opened to let the breeze in. But during the peak heat of the day, windows are closed tight and heavy curtains, often made of dark or insulated fabric, are drawn to block out sunlight. Some even use layered curtains with light-colored outer fabric to reflect heat and dark inner fabric to absorb any that gets through. This creates a cool, cave-like interior. The trick isn't to trap the air from outside, but to lock in the coolness from the night before and block the heat from getting in during the day. Some even hang damp cloths in front of open windows in the early morning, creating a natural evaporative cooling effect. The air that passes through feels slightly chilled, like a primitive swamp cooler. In some cases, fabric screens are dipped in water and re-wetted throughout the day to keep airflow cool. Other families may install wooden shutters on the outside, which reflects sunlight before it even hits the glass. This dual-layer barrier significantly reduces heat gain. And because windows are often placed across from each other, opening just the right ones creates directional airflow, allowing fresh breezes to move through specific rooms depending on where cooling is most needed. It's an art form as much as it is a method, one that takes patience, awareness, and respect for the natural rhythm of the day. This living strategy is more than habit. It's a cooling philosophy passed through generations. Shaded outdoor spaces and summer kitchens. You'll rarely find an Amish person cooking a full meal inside on a hot summer day. Instead, they use summer kitchens, separate buildings, or open-air areas where cooking happens during warmer months. This prevents the buildup of heat inside the main home. Ovens, stoves, and even wood-burning fire pits are used outside. These outdoor kitchens are often shaded by trees or roof overhangs, allowing families to prepare meals without heating up the entire house. The buildings are usually simple, with open windows, high ceilings, and wide doors to allow smoke and heat to escape quickly. Some even have removable wall panels to maximize cross-ventilation. It's not just about cooking either. In many Amish homes, canning, baking, and food preservation, which require long hours near a stove, are strictly done in the summer kitchen. This keeps the main house cool, clean, and odor-free, even during large food preparation efforts. Families also spend more time on covered porches and under trees. Activities like sewing, reading, woodworking, or simply visiting are done outside in shaded areas, avoiding the need for indoor cooling altogether. It's a lifestyle that naturally adjusts to the season. You might even find rocking chairs set up under grapevine trellises or handmade benches beneath mature maples. The focus is on maximizing outdoor airflow and shaded comfort. Some even nap outdoors during the day under shady trees, letting nature do what machines normally would. These outdoor spaces aren't just functional, they're also social hubs. Entire communities may gather outside for meals, chores, or games during summer evenings, allowing everyone to enjoy each other's company without adding to the indoor heat load. These spaces create a seamless blend of utility, tradition, and human connection, cooling the body and the spirit all at once. The combination of shade overhead and airflow around the sides makes these spaces surprisingly comfortable even during the hottest days. The seasonal migration between indoor and outdoor cooking also has social benefits. Summer kitchens often become gathering places where multiple family members can work together on large food preservation projects. The extra space and better ventilation make it easier for several people to work side by side without getting in each other's way or overheating. Building and maintaining a summer kitchen does require extra work and planning, but the payoff and comfort during hot weather makes it worthwhile. Some families use their summer kitchens for more than just cooking, turning them into general workspace areas for other projects that might generate heat or require ventilation. The beauty of this system is that it completely eliminates one of the biggest sources of unwanted heat in the home during summer months. While other people are fighting a losing battle against heat generated by their own cooking, Amish families keep that heat outside from the start. Nature provides even more cooling solutions right outside the door. Smart landscaping can drop a house's temperature by up to 20 degrees, and the Amish have been using this natural air conditioning for centuries. Trees aren't just planted randomly around Amish properties. Every single tree serves a purpose, positioned like living, breathing, cooling machines that work around the clock. The west side of an Amish home gets the most tree coverage because that's where the afternoon sun hits hardest. Those brutal late-day rays, when the sun is at its most intense, get blocked by carefully placed shade trees before they can turn the house into a furnace. Oak trees, maple trees, and other large shade varieties create natural umbrellas that can reduce wall temperatures by 15 to 20 degrees. South-facing walls also get protection, but the tree placement here requires more thought. Trees on the south side need to be far enough away that they don't block winter sunlight when the leaves fall off, but close enough to provide shade during summer when the leaves are full. This seasonal adjustment happens automatically as deciduous trees lose their leaves in fall and regain them in spring. Grapevines and other climbing plants get trained to grow up trellises and along walls, creating what amounts to living curtains. These green screens don't just look nice, they actually cool the air around them through a process called transpiration. As water evaporates from the leaves, it takes heat with it, creating a natural cooling effect right next to the house walls. The Amish plan their tree placement more carefully than most people plan their wedding guest list, and it lasts longer too. The positioning of bushes and smaller plants also follows this cooling strategy. Dense shrubs planted near windows and along foundation walls create pockets of cool air that get drawn into the house when windows are open for ventilation. These plants also help block hot winds that might otherwise push warm air against the house. Strategic tree placement does more than just provide shade. Trees also create microclimates around the house that can be several degrees cooler than the surrounding area. The combination of shade, transpiration, and wind patterns altered by the trees creates natural cool zones that extend the comfortable outdoor living space. Mature trees take years to grow, which means this cooling system requires long-term planning that many modern homeowners skip. Amish families plant trees not just for themselves, but for future generations who will benefit from the shade. A tree planted today might not provide significant cooling for 10 to 15 years, but once established, it becomes a permanent part of the home's cooling system. The cost savings from this natural air conditioning add up over decades. A well-placed tree can reduce cooling costs by hundreds of dollars per year in areas that rely on air conditioning. For Amish families who don't use electric cooling, the trees provide comfort that money simply can't buy. Even the most perfectly placed trees need backup cooling methods when temperatures are really sore. Underground spaces naturally stay cool year-round, and Amish families have turned their basements into summer refugees that beat any air-conditioned room. While most people use their basements for storage or laundry, Amish basements become the center of family life when temperatures climb above 85 degrees. The temperature difference is remarkable. When it's a sweltering 95 degrees outside, Amish basements typically hover around 55 to 60 degrees without any mechanical cooling whatsoever. This happens because soil temperatures 6 feet underground stay relatively constant throughout the year, usually matching the average annual temperature of the area. The Earth itself acts like a massive temperature regulator that never needs maintenance or electricity. Now here's where the strategy really kicks in. The Amish don't just plop trees down wherever there's space, they're smart about it. For instance, they tend to plant trees on the south and west sides of their homes, where the sun is at its strongest. This blocks the hottest rays and keeps their houses cooler for longer. It's all about understanding the natural rhythms of the sun and working with them, instead of against them. They've got a rhythm to this process that modern society seems to have forgotten in its rush to invent the next cooling gadget. Here's something that'll make you smile. Planting a tree for shade is one of the oldest and simplest ways to stay cool. People were doing it long before air conditioning was even a thing. But somewhere along the line, We traded in trees for machines, and we forgot how effective the original method was. The Amish, being as resourceful as they are, never gave up on that simple truth. Nature's cooling system works best. It's just another example of how they let nature do the heavy lifting for them. And if you think about it, trees are the gift that keeps on giving. Not only do they provide shade, but they also cool the air through a process called evapotranspiration. In simple terms, the trees release moisture into the air, which helps lower the temperature around them. It's like nature's version of a swamp cooler, but without the ugly machinery or the need for electricity. So, in addition to blocking the sun, trees actually make the surrounding air cooler, which gives the Amish yet another reason to love them. They're like a multi-purpose tool that just happens to grow in your yard. But I bet you didn't need a fancy word like evapotranspiration to know that standing under a tree feels cooler than standing in the sun, right? It's something we've all experienced. In fact, studies show that the air under a tree can be up to 10 degrees cooler than the air in full sun. That's a pretty big difference when you're trying to beat the Arizona heat. And the Amish? They've known this all along. They didn't need scientific studies. They've seen it firsthand for generations. Now, let's tie this all back to the bigger picture. Just like with their use of thick walls and high ceilings, the Amish approach to trees is all about working with nature. Instead of fighting the heat with expensive AC units or relying on artificial cooling methods, they harness what's already available in the natural world. Planting trees to block the sun and cool the air is just another way they live in harmony with their environment, using simple, sustainable methods that don't require any fancy technology. So, let's step inside again. If you've ever wondered how the Amish keep their homes cool without flipping a switch, the answer is simple. They let nature do the work. Old-school ventilation is the secret weapon, and it's a trick as old as time. Imagine this. No AC, no fans, no buzzing appliances, just windows strategically opened and closed throughout the day to catch the perfect breeze. It sounds like something out of a time capsule, but trust me, it works. The Amish don't need fancy gadgets or high-tech cooling systems. Instead, they rely on cross breezes to circulate fresh air through their homes, turning what could be a sweltering house into a breezy, cool refuge. Now, here's the key. It's all about timing and positioning. The Amish have this art down to a science. They know exactly which windows to open at different times of the day, depending on where the wind is coming from and how the sun moves across the sky. And when those windows are open just right, it creates a natural airflow that pushes the warm air out and pulls the cool air in. It's like a fan, but without the buttons or the constant hum. Let me tell you a quick story. I once visited an Amish farmhouse on one of the hottest days of the summer. As soon as I walked in, I was hit with a gentle, cool breeze, almost as if the house itself was breathing. No fans, no AC, just windows placed in perfect harmony with the outdoors. I asked how they did it, and the homeowner laughed and said, "We let the wind do the work." And honestly, it felt like magic. Who knew something as simple as opening a window at the right time could be so effective? The beauty of this system is that it works in tandem with everything else we've talked about so far. Remember those high ceilings? They play a big part in this too. When the hot air rises, as it naturally does, it gets trapped up high, well above where anyone is sitting, cooking, or relaxing. Meanwhile, the cool air stays down below, right where you need it. And by opening windows on opposite sides of the house, the Amish create a cross breeze that sweeps through, pushing the heat up and out while keeping the lower part of the room nice and cool. But let's not forget one of the best perks of all: no energy bills. Unlike modern air conditioning, which can cost a fortune to run during the summer months, this method doesn't cost a dime. It's nature-powered cooling at its finest. So next time your AC breaks or your power goes out, remember, there's another way. The Amish way. One that stood the test of time and continues to cool, comfort, and connect us to the natural world. Sometimes, the best solutions don't come from a manual or a machine, but from old wisdom passed down quietly through generations. If you found this fascinating, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with friends or family who are tired of sweating through heat waves or dealing with sky-high cooling bills. These Amish techniques are more than just cool. They're life-changing when the power goes out or energy costs hit hard. We're just getting started. There's so much more off-grid knowledge to uncover, from homesteading tricks to traditional survival skills that actually work. So tap that bell icon so you never miss another video. Let's build a community that values smart, sustainable living, one that's informed, empowered, and ready for anything. Stay smart, stay cool, stay curious, and we'll see you in the next one.